Hi kindergarten! Thanks for watching this video again today. We're in the home stretch. We only have a few more read alouds left. Here's the note catcher that you need for today. Okay? Alright, and then yesterday we learned about natural resources, and I want to remind you that natural resources are things that come from nature or the earth, and they're very important or valuable to people. Okay, so with a family member next to you, talk about what are some of the examples of natural resources that we learned in the last read aloud. Pause it if you need a little time to talk about it. Okay, we also learned that large amounts of garbage are dumped and buried in landfills, and sometimes those landfills have to be closed because there's no more space for the garbage. And remember that landfills can be dangerous places because of the hazardous gases that could get into the air or the water. And when we breathe in that air, if we drink that water, it can make us get sick. Okay, so I wonder if you and your family have talked about what are some things that you can do with garbage so that there's less garbage in landfills. What do you think you can do so that there's less garbage or so that there's less garbage in landfills? All right, today I'm going to teach you something that you can do. Okay, it's 3 words. Repeat after me. Say reduce, reuse, and recycle. Okay, today I want you to listen to ways that we can reduce, reuse, and recycle things so that we can conserve or protect our natural resources. Okay, here we go. So kids, how much trash does the earth have to deal with every year? Let me ask that another way. How much trash do the people on earth generate or make each year? Well, I'm not here to scold you or try to make you feel bad, but let's just say that people generate an extremely large amount of trash. Okay, so who generates all this trash? Who makes all this trash? Shout it out loud. I hope you know. People are really the only creatures on the planet who generate any trash. You won't see a bear or a deer putting trash in a trash can. You won't see a monkey in the jungle using a paper napkin to wipe their face, and you probably won't see dogs and cats drinking their water out of plastic bottles. People make trash, so they're the ones who are responsible for taking care of it. Every year, people in the United States generate billions of bags full of trash, plus all kinds of other trash that doesn't fit in bags, like old refrigerators and broken furniture. Imagine how much trash is generated all over the world. And where does the trash end up? Can you remember the name of the place in this picture? What's this place called? There's 2 names for it that you might know. It's a landfill, or the dump. There is an incredible amount of trash buried in landfills, but we can help. Wouldn't it be nice if we could keep as much land as possible clean and green like this picture? Can you think of ways that you can cut back on the amount of trash that you throw away? Well, I'm about to teach you 3 important words, and if you pay special attention and try to put some of my words into action, then you can really help to make an important difference in the world. Those 3 words are reduce, reuse, and recycle. Say them a few times. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. When you reduce the amount you use of something, you use less of it. What do you see in this picture? On the left side is a roll of paper towels. On the right is a towel dispenser like the one that you might have in the restroom at your school or maybe at a restaurant. Why do you think I'm showing you these pictures? What does this have to do with the word reduce? Let's say you wash your hands in the restroom. Instead of grabbing a huge hunk of paper towels, try to just use one. And by reducing the number of paper towels that you use, you can do 2 very important things. First, you will reduce the number of trees that get cut down to make paper towels, and that's a good thing because we love trees. And second, you will reduce the amount of trash that goes into a landfill. All right, so if we try to save more paper towels, or toilet paper or Kleenex and things like that, which natural resource will we be saving? Think about it. Where does paper come from? Paper comes from trees, right? I hope you remember that. So if we stop using so many paper towels and Kleenex and those things, it'll help save us some trees. And that's always good, right? Because trees are important. Trees are a natural resource. So remember, whether you're using paper towels, toilet paper, or any kind of paper, reduce, reduce, reduce. Don't use more than you actually need. Okay, guys? All right, so here's our first question. Describe one way that you can reduce the amount you use of something. Describe one way you can reduce the amount you use of something. Okay, and pause the video if you need to. This part will give you another idea of how you can reduce something, the use of something. And it tells you how to reuse something. So it says, what does it mean to reuse something? It means that you use it again. If you try, you can probably think of lots of ways to reuse paper. Do you like to draw? Before you ball up a piece of used paper and throw it away, flip it over and see if there's anything on the back. If it's blank, draw a picture on the other side too, like this nice one that a child drew of a house on a bright spring day. Then take it home and hang it up on the refrigerator or bulletin board. Trust me, it will look great, and nobody will ever know or care that there's something on the other side. Okay, so if you like to draw, you shouldn't just draw on the front. You can flip it over and draw on the back too, because that's a way to reuse paper. Use it again. Reducing and reusing are two important ways to make sure that you don't send too much trash off to the landfill. But the very best way is recycling. Okay, before we talk about recycling, let's go to the next question. It says, describe one way to reuse something. So they're talking about what you can do to reuse paper. So you can say you can reuse paper by... Okay, pause the video if you need to. All right. This is a recycling symbol. We got a bunch of them here. A symbol is a picture that represents an idea. What do you think these symbols mean? Here, I'll tell you. The arrows in this symbol remind you that many things can actually be made into other things, or they can be recycled. Okay? Recycling is sort of like reusing. When you recycle something, however, it often gets made into something completely different. For example, your plastic juice bottle can be recycled and made into something else that is plastic. All the plastic is collected in recycling bins and is taken to factories where it is melted down into liquid plastic and then made into something else. So a plastic bottle that you put in the recycling bin might end up as part of a plastic toy. Okay, so look, if you drink out of a plastic bottle and then you put that plastic bottle into the recycling bin and it's taken to a recycling center, the plastic can be melted down and turned into something else, like maybe a toy, like this dinosaur toy. Okay, and then all these bottles won't get sent to the landfill. They're reused, they're recycled. Okay, I hope some of you recycle. Let me know if you do. Now that you know what it looks like, you might start noticing the recycling symbol in more places. Often you'll see these three arrows on bins like this one, so you know to put recyclable materials in it. A recycling bin is kind of like a trash can, except the things you put in here won't go to the landfill. They will be turned into other things. Be sure to empty containers and rinse them if possible before putting them in the recycling bin. Okay, so your last question says, what are recycled materials? Recycled materials are things that are what? Okay, pause the video if you need to. Here's a picture of different things that most people use almost every day. All of these things can be recycled. Newspapers, mail, and cardboard boxes are all paper products. All of them come from trees, and all of them can be recycled instead of thrown into the trash can. Glass bottles and jars, aluminum soda cans, metal soup cans, and plastic bottles are all recyclable too. What's more, all of these things are made from natural resources, which means that the more you recycle, the more natural resources you conserve or save. Okay, last page. You might be wondering, why does all this trash end up in landfills if most of it can be reused or recycled? And that's a good question to ask, and it's one that you'll learn about later. For now, however, I just want you to make sure that you remember the three important R words. Say them with me. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Say them again. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Okay? All right, so that's the end of today's read aloud. One more thing for you to reflect and talk about with your family is, why do you think it's important to reduce and reuse and recycle? Why is it important to reduce, reuse, and recycle? Tell your family, say it's important because. All right, bye guys.